The world's most iconic football club selects an Indian IT vendor for managing its digital interface. So now the means of communication between Manchester United and scores of its fans will be made in India. So why is this such a big deal for HCL Technologies? Why is Manchester United so important? Let's kickstart this special show by telling you all about Manchester United and its fans across the world.
With 659 million fans, nearly a tenth of the world population, it's no secret as to why Manchester United is such a dominant force in club football. 33 official sponsors, marketing offices in 6 different parts of the world, and ever-expanding revenues arise from a legacy which is well marketed. But the club backs up suave marketing with silverware, 20 league titles, 3 European Cups, 11 FA Cups, and 4 League Cups are a standing testimony to that feat. Some of the numbers are indeed eye-popping. Manchester United is making 52% more than any other team in the sport when it comes to sponsorship deals. The club's 10-year dual global sponsorship and the licensing deal with Adidas guarantees the team at least an average of $110 million a year. The 7-year shirt deal with Chevrolet started paying the team an average of $75 million a year since the 2014-15 season. These are the most lucrative uniform deals in soccer, and this and the fans and the ticket revenues justify why Manchester United is the dominant force in club football. HCL Technologies views the deal as more of a collaborative partnership and less of traditional sponsorship. The agreement involves HCL and ManU teaming up to transform the digital experience of its wide fan base. The club boasts over 650 million global followers, roughly 99% of which will never set foot within the stadium. HCL also looks to explore a number of digital initiatives with the club and its 60 sponsorship partners. What will such a deal do for the players is pretty simple. Fans will be able to access data, interactions and comments of the players via digital platforms. And this will be very important for the players since it will keep them in the minds of the millions of fans whenever the fans want. For HCL Tech, it's more of one premier brand within its fold, which can lead to global mileage, collaborative contracts with Manchester United sponsors and lots more. The size of the deal, be it £25 million or £40 million, is not that crucial in a deal of this nature. What matters is the number of doors that open up for HCL Tech as a result of this deal.
Welcome to business in the 21st century. Today, it's not the product or the service that wins the match, it's the experience. And those in the business of creating great experiences know it can't be done in isolation. It needs collaboration across boundaries and disciplines. It demands unparalleled agility and the ability to change course in the face of adversity. Today, technology allows us the freedom to deliver those experiences like no era in history. It is on this new and exciting playing field that we come together. Not to form a partnership, but a team. A team that stands united till the final whistle. And beyond. Because in the 21st century, technology is making business a team sport.
Well, Manchester United, as all of you know, have signed a global contract with HCL Technologies, and the two men who've inked this deal join us right now to tell us the significance of this for the organizations and for the fans at large across the world. Anant Gupta, Richard Arnold, need no introduction, join me right now. Gentlemen, congratulations on this deal and thanks so much for speaking exclusively to ET Now. Anant, a quick snapshot, what this means for HCL Tech. I mean, how important is it, aside of the fact that, of course, it's Manchester United?
I think the access to 659 million followers, the ability to interact with them digitally, and Beam products and services which are relevant to them. And of course, the underlying foundation technology that we've built for Manchester United itself is a big, exciting moment for HCL, in this partnership.
And Richard, the obvious question is why HCL Technologies? I mean, I'm sure there are a bunch of people or a bunch of companies who are willing to do this. Why did you zero in on HCL? How did you zero in on HCL?
We're a company that has 659 million fans around the world. We're operating in many, many countries and engaging with over 100 million of those fans in a digital environment. Having a company with 100,000 employees operating in 30 countries that can transform how we engage digitally with those fans was a natural fit for us and a partnership we're very excited about.
So Anand, it's more like, we were talking about this in the promo line yesterday, that now the means of communication between the most iconic football brand and its fans will be made in India. Yeah, in a way, it is that. Now, just tell us, what would this do? Because a lot of people would be wondering after this, that what is it exactly that this particular partnership will do for fan experience?
So I think, it kind of builds on to the, the string of labs that we've so successfully built and delivered. So this is the 7th one off the block, right? We have one other one working in London, which is really, these co-innovation labs. And when you look at digital, right, it's not about one individual entity trying to build, something of unique experience. It's really an ecosystem which comes together and builds that, that United experience that you have. So we are setting up an experience lab in Old Trafford, where we'll actually build the foundational technologies so that then the entire digital strategy of Manchester United could be then rolled on top of that. So there is a foundational engine for experience. There is another engine for content management, which has been planned, and finally an analytics engine so that you can slice and dice the data so that one can beam one-to-one if one wants, or one-to-many, or through other sponsorship channels. So it will give us the ability to build a strong foundation, and as Richard said, of a technology platform which is of internet scale, which can scale up, which is secure, and which can then deliver consistently. So it's not just about design, but it's about designing, it's about building, and then running a platform successfully so that it can scale up to the millions of fans, which Manchester United has.
Yeah, Richard, and it's probably more a question of not what can be done, it's a question of how much can be done, with a partnership like this. So my question is simply from a perspective of a fan who wants to interact with the team, even with people like you, for example, people in my office have been saying that if you meet Richard Arnold, ask him these 6, 7, 8 questions about things. So people want to not just talk to the players, but talk to people like you as well, who are taking ManU to another level altogether. So my question is, what can fans expect going forward over the next couple of years as a result of this partnership?
I think what you can expect is that we use the sophisticated measurement tools that HCL spoke about. We use the technology that's available to us to get even more engaging experience, more relevant information at the right time, delivered with ease. The importance, also you alluded to it, of the inbound information coming from fans, outbound, as Anant indicated, whether it's to everyone or to an individual fan, making sure that those communication channels are open at a scale that blows the mind. When you first come and work here and you realise that, in every country, in every corner of the world, if you go, when we're playing and you go to somewhere where there's a TV on, you'll see people watching our games. And they will have that passion for information about the club, to see what's happening, to understand what's true, what the latest information is. And so, to be able to do that, we've got a series, as you said, there's so much that we can do. We've always said that we're just taking baby steps with Manchester United in terms of really reaching out to that huge family of fans all around the world and really working with them to communicate and engage. And so we'll start off with doing some simple, really high quality basic work in terms of redesigning our website, in terms of re-establishing work around an app that we've been in beta testing. So just bringing HCL and their knowledge and experience will transform and turbocharge what we're able to do in just those simple things. We've got other projects planned thereafter, but building on these platform enablers together with that secure and stable platform means that we can really take a leap forward in what we're trying to do.
as somebody who tracks HCL, I am probably as proud as Anant is to be associated that this deal has happened. But just one final question, Richard, and this is more from a business perspective. Football is probably amongst the world's largest industry in the sports front, the largest probably. And, a lot of people believe that what you guys are doing is taking the business aspect of football at completely another level altogether. What you guys have together achieved ever since you've taken over. How do you see this shaping up over the course of the next 3-4 years?
I think that's a flattering description, but it doesn't start with the sophistication of our commercial approach. It starts with 659 million fans who all feel so passionately about one thing. And when you think about that in terms of how important a sports team and how constant that is through the fan's life, you may move house, you may change job, you'll have several cars, you may, God forbid, the divorce rate is 1 in 2. 98% of our fans will never change the football team they support. And so you have this huge number of people who are constant, who put the passion that they have for the team right at the top of the list. And that underpins everything we do. We're then able to do clever and successful and sophisticated things with that huge family of fans. But the reason that we're as successful as we are is a function of what we start with, which is this huge family of fans all around the world. And the work we're doing with HCL is going to enable that hugely in terms of that connectivity.
Okay, we're running out of time. Just one final question, Anant. What would this mean for HCL as well? Because yes, it's a great brand. I'm sure you can't disclose the amount, etc. I don't want to get into that. But what does it mean for HCL beyond the monies that come in?
So I think, fundamentally, if you look at the, the belief we have in the 21st century enterprise, right, there is a certain characteristic of a 21st century enterprise, right? It is about the experience you offer to your consumers. It is about how you build an ecosystem of partners, service-oriented, how are you agile, and how do you really get all that into the 21st century enterprise. So what we see, there is a perfect, use case with Manchester United, where they are also a 21st century enterprise. We are ourselves, amongst the only 8 technology companies who have all the financial stats who've been listed after 2000. Yes. So I think we focus really on the consumer experience, making sure we make those digital connections, as Richard mentioned, I think the business will follow through from there. I think from there also, the fact that we will be beaming out, doing analytics on 659 million followers itself is a great, rich knowledge base, which can be leveraged across multiple industries, and including the partners which Manchester United has as well. So I think that in itself is really exciting from a pure digital transformation perspective when you look at the 21st century enterprise philosophy we have.
Great. Hope this works out even better for the fans as well and for the two organizations. Thank you so much, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Lovely
Richard.
to see you.
Thank you so much. We're back from the break, and now we've told you what HCL Tech is going to do broadly, what are fan reactions, and what is it that Manchester United feels about the whole deal. Now it's time to put the spotlight on the CEO and try and gauge from him what this would essentially mean for HCL Tech, not just now, but over the course of the next, say, 3 or 4 quarters. Because, Anand, as we were trying to speak about in that common interaction as well, this deal is not just about what you get from this Manchester United, but a lot more than that. I mean, now just tell us. I'm sure you aggressively pursued it as well, this one as well. Why is this so important?
So I think, first of all, the institution is an iconic institution. I mean, by far the largest sports club, 615 plus million fans, 200 countries is just phenomenal, right? And I'm sure they're doing, and they have a 98% customer retention rate, fan retention rate that they have. Right?
You have a 98% customer rate.
98% customer retention rate. So somewhere the mechanics of the cultural alignment kind of came in that the retention and creating the wow in the experience with your principal customer is most important. And I think that kind of synchronized well with our thoughts as well. But coming back to why is it so big and why it's so important for us? I think the most important reason is we get an access to 659 million fans. We get access to a club which is so well known, got such a great brand. It gives us therefore the opportunity to create a couple of things. First is create certain engines, technology engines which will deliver to such a large scale, right? So whether it is the experience engine, whether it's the content management engine, or it is the analytics engine, which will be the foundation of this entire digital journey for Manchester United. So that's what we will be embarking on building for them, right? Which we can then leverage across in multiple other industries.
This is unlike what you've already done with somebody else, or is this a first of a kind deal? No.
So I would say, the concept of a co-innovation lab is not new. So as we, our belief is that in the 21st century enterprise, to really translate the so-called value in the digitalization journey, you need to have a co-innovation model. You have to get the stakeholders involved.
Right.
Upfront
Agreed.
in the game. So to that extent, our methodologies are getting replicated here.
Yeah.
But I think the industry segment is different. This is a sports brand.
Yeah.
We have been successfully done it in insurance, in banking, in telecom, in high tech, in pharma. So we are confident that we will be able to replicate our learning over there, use it here, and vice versa. There will be a lot of learning here, which we'll take back to some of the other segments. For example, the experience we'll get dealing with 659 million fans, how does content be, how is it consumed, how is it promoted, is equally applicable to a banking sector, right? So,
in that sense, would this be amongst the largest deals? Forget the money, but just the number of people who will be accessing.
I think from a scale perspective, it will be the largest. Okay. So it will, to the second point, it will therefore test us to build systems of a different scale. It'll test us to build a security infrastructure of a different scale, dealing with 200 nationalities and the data privacy issues which will come along with it, right? So the scale is extremely, of a different magnitude, right? So I think that is again leverageable in multiple other sectors over here. So, but yeah, from a first standpoint, both the sports segment as well as the scale completely are of a different magnitude.
And would I be wrong when I'm thinking that what this would do is not just open up sports clients? Yes, I mean that's a separate thing altogether. But the fact that Manchester United as a brand is associated, or so many other large MNC brands are associated with ManU, yes, and to an extent, if you are keeping the principal client happy, a lot of other people would stand up and take notice and say that, hey, an Indian IT vendor is doing it successfully for ManU. Maybe we could go out and give it a preference.
So absolutely. I mean, you've made a valid observation. Manchester United alone has 80 partners.
Right.
These are big brands. Some of them are very big brands, some of them are regional big brands, but fundamentally, they also will leverage the same thing. So they would see an opportunity for being able to, when they see something working here, not just to use this as a channel for this market, but also for some other markets where they would like to pursue. So yes, I think from that perspective, it gives us a platform to play in a different league, if you may like.
Right. And just wondering, Anand, just a couple of other questions. I mean, is the landscape changing a bit? In the sense that if earlier, and I know we've spoken about this, if earlier there were only a handful of global IT companies which were considered for large projects, that no longer is the case, because I'm sure you've pipped a number of large names, both Indian and local, to bag this coveted deal.
So you're right. I think we've seen that in other
which is what I'm saying. It's
done,
not new for
it's
you.
Not new. I think the key is there needs to be an alignment of objectives which is just beyond business, and for us we see that ticking in here. Right. Passion. That is, there's a passion to do that, because if there's passion, things get delivered, whichever business you are in, right? There is a need to enhance the experience in the way we do business with our customers. We see an alignment over there. In our business model, the entire relationship beyond the contract ethos, and likewise over here. So I think these basic fundamentals align us well, okay? And I think therefore, it's not just the capability, successful demonstration of the work we've done. All our transitions and engagements we have taken have been a zero defect transition. Wow. We have delivered to it's not, there'll be ups and downs in the execution, but has the engagement delivered to the promise and the objectives which they were stated out to be?
So I guess the 98% retention rate speaks.
And the 98% client retention rate is there. And if you see the CSAT scores, we have not met but the external surveys that we do, the results have just come in about 2 weeks back. We've been rated amongst the industry best in each of our different businesses. Yeah. So I think that is also a very important element. So making sure we have a win-win relationship is an important element, and that's how we like to do business with our customers. It'll be a center stage, and therefore I think the rest is just how you do it.
This is an iconic venue, and I'm really glad we're doing it out here. What would HCL Tech be doing for fans, say over the next 2 years? Or the next 1 year? What is it that fans can expect out of this whole exercise that you'll be doing along with ManU?
I think the fundamental objective is enhance the experience, enhance the connection with the club in different formats. Once you have a digital framework, you can decide to do one-to-one, one-to-many, one-to-a-country, whatever you want to do. It opens up all those paradigms, right? And I think the most important thing is, if you look at the seriousness with which Manchester United is taking, is not a joke. It is serious. There is that old boardroom just between those two boxes when they compete,
right,
which has been dedicated for the United Experience Lab. Now, that's a big thing. That's a place where normally, all the players, all the historical David Beckham and all that signatories have been done there.
Wow.
So so Manchester United is obviously extremely serious about enhancing the experience that it delivers to the customers. And obviously, once you have the framework, the enabling engines behind it, content will obviously change as it goes, right? So I think that's what it'll be. I think it will create a larger bonding between the fans of Manchester United and the club and the players and their partners is what I hope.
You'll actually end up being a consumer brand, because so many ManU fans will be thanking you for that.
I hope so, yes, I would. I'm looking forward to it, absolutely.
Yeah. Yes. You watched the match till now here?
Well, long back when I was studying, right, because I studied not very far from here, but not in the recent past, no.
So would you be looking forward to it?
Oh, absolutely, yes, yes.
Because from whatever little I heard by this one day that we are present here, the atmosphere is electric. It's a completely red stadium.
This place is electric when there is a match. Okay. I mean, the way we're quietly chatting with no noise, I mean,
right.
It's not going to be the same, right? And with these kind of box, formats that they have, I think the experience is fantastic. So I think it's a great place to watch a match.
Right.
And yeah.
So you will be able to come here and watch a match whenever you want to, by virtue of the association with ManU.
We do have that privilege.
Okay, so great. I'm sure a lot of our followers on TV will be hoping that something like that can happen as well, because this is truly a great deal, an iconic deal with an iconic brand, and I'm sure that they'll be very happy that they have chosen HCL Tech to do this.
Absolutely, I think, and likewise, we're extremely delighted to have partnered with Manchester United and hope to deliver all the objectives and the experience that we want to for the fans that they have.
So, as always, it's a very, very confident Anant Gupta of HCL Technology speaking about this deal and, well, what it essentially means for HCL Tech. I didn't bother asking about how the next 12 months of HCL Tech look like, because in the early earnings call, he's already told us that future looks pretty okay. All right. Thanks so much for watching this very special coverage of a tie-up between the world's most iconic football brand and one of India's leading IT companies.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow, and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNowLive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/ETNow.